Perspectives Unlimited. All right, it seemed to be a great time for the dailies as the adverts just all over the place this morning. We move on to the Nigerian Tribune on page 7. SEC orders public companies to release old dividends. You find it on page 7 of the Tribune. And in education on page 3, ASU declares no pay, no work. Any month salary is delayed. ASU declares no pay, no work. Any month salary is delayed on page 3 of the Nigerian Tribune today. And on page 2, Wike renames ICC after Tinubu. The writer says, don't pay attention to busybodies. President tells FCT ministers, minister says usage of facility not free. When we read that story, find out International Conference Center, has it always been free? We need to also understand why we have that rider this morning on the Nigerian Tribune. And that's all with the Tribune, and then we go to the Guardian newspaper. Days of electoral impunity over, Peter Obi declares. You find it on page 3. And on the same page, Senate to change presidential inauguration venue, mandate June 12 address. It's on page 3 of the Guardian. 150,000 cases of babies born with sickle cell disease yearly in Nigeria. You find it on page 3. And on page 6, 2027 computer-based test targets. Less than 30% public schools have computer labs. ICT savvy pupils. Chukwemeka, this is a big issue here. I wonder how, I mean, if 30% of public schools have, computer-based laboratories, yet JAM is CBT-based, computer-based, and WAEC is gradually moving towards that. If the pupils or students from private-owned institutions or private-owned schools can pull this off, how about those in the government school, which this is basically all about? The infographics here on the Guardian says 65% of secondary schools in the country lack functional libraries, and 90% do not have computer laboratories. 90% of them. And yet we're running after 2027. Big issue here. 28.75% of senior secondary school students have basic computer proficiency. About 72% of educators lack digital training. 7% of Nigerians between 15 and 24 have IT skills. 2027 CBT deadline is overly ambitious, says stakeholder. Last UBEC census shows that 89% of private urban schools teach computer studies compared to just 12% of public rural schools. And many homes spend more on food and necessity than gadgets. That's very true. On page 29, ignore busybodies. Tinubu tells Wike at reopening of center. On page 6, Knox trails Wike stakeholders meeting as PDP crisis deepens. It's on page 6. On page 5, June 12, Lamido urges Tinubu to immortalize Humphrey Nwosu. We're back to that again on page 5. And on page 29, Plateau, 58 killed, 31 injured, 15 displaced in 6 weeks. That's in Plateau State. And on page 15, World Bank bullish on Nigerian economy, marks up growth forecast to 3.6% on page 15. And finally, on page 5, power outage plunges Adamawa, Borno, Taraba, Yobe in darkness. And that's all we have this morning on the front page. The front pages of the dailies we read from. We read from The Punch, the Nigerian Tribune, and the Guardian newspaper for this morning. Once again, thank you for joining us on the program. You can watch us live on our Facebook page, Wells Radio 893 FM fan page. Wells Radio 893 FM fan page on Facebook. You can also go straight to our YouTube channel this morning to also watch us live on YouTube. Go right there to our YouTube page, Wells Radio 89.3 FM on YouTube. Wells Radio 89.3 FM on YouTube. Still Perspectives Unlimited on Wells Radio 89.3 FM. We take a break to be right back in a moment. Stay with us. Welcome back to the program, Perspectives Unlimited, on Wells Radio 89.3 FM, your preferred wholesome radio and your state's #1 family radio station. In a moment, we will put out the studio lines so you can join the conversation, but we start here from the studio as Chukwuemeka Munachiso joins me in the studio this morning to help us make sense of them all. Great morning to you, Chukwuemeka.
Good morning, Ayo.
Good morning. Good to see you on a Wednesday.
Yeah. We thank God for His mercy.
Thank God for life. All right, Chukwuemeka, let's dive into the conversation this morning. On page 6, which is the top story, or the major story, the Guardian newspaper this morning, 2027 computer-based test target. Less than 30% public schools have computer labs and ICT savvy pupils. I'm glad that we have this kind of story, out of the dailies, especially the Guardian, this morning. And you can always trust the Guardian newspaper to give us statistics and numbers. 28.75% of senior secondary school students have basic computer literacy. 28.7% of senior secondary school, students. That's between SSS 1 to 3. And again, about 72% of educators lack digital training. 72% of educators lack digital training, and among them, I believe their teachers and instructors are also there. 65% of secondary schools in the country lack functional libraries, and 90% do not have computer laboratories. 90% of public schools, no computer laboratories. 28.75% of senior secondary school students lack basic proficiency, education when it comes to ICT usage. And 7% of Nigerians between 15 and 24 have IT skills. Of course, a stakeholder here says the 2027 CBT deadline is overly ambitious. Obviously, from the numbers, it is overly ambitious. Last UBEC census showed that 89% of private urban schools teach computer studies, compared to just 12% of public rural schools. 89% of private urban schools, which you'd say is a pass mark. I want to believe the rest of the schools not capture. They're probably mushroom private schools, because already we're seeing 89%. However, 12% of public schools as compared to that number. Very recently, the result of the Joint Admissions and Matriculations Board, JAMB, the UTME result, the performance and the conversation that trailed it thereafter, and also the not so far future of switching WAEC from being paper-based to CBT. Obviously, private schools I don't want to say take computer studies very seriously. However, most private schools want their students and pupils to do well at their CBT examinations. That you see a lot of them putting out the numbers as regards performance with the last UTME right in front of their premises. It's a culture all over the place now. And of course, you only need quality knowledge of computer or basic knowledge of computer to be able to do CBT examination. But looking at this figure this morning, it is not just supposed to be a concern for the nation alone, but even for parents, as this is the future of learning in our world today. As a family radio station, we cannot just pass this story by like it's not on the front page this morning. Let me get your thought
you see,
on all of this. Yeah.
You see, when you look at our educational system, it needs total overhauling. Very long time ago. We are in the computer age. And unfortunately, we are not putting in place things that will make our children to cope with this age. Especially when it comes to public schools. If you have gone to public schools, you begin to wonder, how do you expect children from this school to take computer-based examinations when they are not even, there's no complex steps. Some of the schools don't even have doors or windows where they will keep these computers for safety. Not to talk of these children having access to whatever that is called computer. So now the government practically has not been able to invest massively in education. And that's why private schools are filling the gap. Because most private schools, they have computer rooms, computer halls, everything. But go to private schools, and you expect children from these private public schools to compete with the children
with the private school.
The private school. How do you? No, it appears that government has not even. I don't understand, Ayo, because if you have ever taken a walk to some of these private schools, even around us here, you will understand what I'm saying. How do you expect a child from this kind of environment? No computer, nothing. Even when they have computer, even when they have one, how many students are going to have access to it? And they will still go for examination with children from private schools, where it's like every child has a computer attached to him or her, where they will they practice and do everything, and they will go for examination. The bottom line is that Nigerian government is not, we are not, the system is not run by statesmen, by politicians. We are in a, and if you want to destroy a nation, go and play around with the education of its youth, you understand that nation is gone. And we don't have leaders who are look at what Awolowo did during his time. He saw the future. The quality of education that time, can you compare it with what we have now? Even with the resources we have these days. We have money. We have everything. Just look back into history. They don't even have what people today have. But yet, they have people who understand where they are taking their people to. The kind of leaders we have nowadays are people who don't even know where they are going to. All they're after is aggrandizement, self-aggrandizement. Yes, I'm a leader. Everything will revolve around me. What of the people that you are supposed to lead? What impact are you making in their lives? They don't care about it. And that is why our education is in shambles, especially public education, public schools. Go to most public schools in this or your state as I'm talking to you right now. You may see a place that is well painted, but go inside. How many computers will you see in that kind of place? You won't see anything. Before a child will be properly educated, there must be an enabling environment for that child to be educated. When we are going to school, when we are in primary school, we didn't have computer, we didn't have all those things, but there was an enabling environment. We didn't have a scarcity of food. We didn't have insecurity. We didn't have some of these things that are harassing our children. So we were able to cope, even with the scarce resources around. The teachers were well motivated. The schools were well funded at that level. We are giving some things free to encourage us, and we paid attention to education. And that is why go and bring somebody from the past and compare with a graduate of these days. Present, you begin to wonder what is actually going on. Because government has lost interest in all they're after is power. Grab power, run with it, whatever you do. But you are people. What now? When Buhari was in power, you know, there was this man, Adamu.
Yeah.
They made him the Minister of
Education.
Education. Yeah. Adamu came out to say later that he didn't even know anything about education. How can a country, a serious country, a country that knows where it is going, give education portfolio to a man who does not know anything about education? He was there for how many years? How? Okay, we have this man here now. Somebody, Mr. Alausa is there now. What does Alausa know about education? He was the first to jump out to say that, yes, the children failed as woefully because we have put a lot of things in place to check cheating, not knowing that it was as a result of technical glitches and incomplete questions. Do you, such a man as a Minister of Education, what do you expect? That is what I'm saying. Put square pegs in square holes. Because, and look, Ayo, we had this discussion off camera for some time, that some of the textbooks people used in the 70s and 80s are still the textbooks people are using in the universities because there's no research. You cannot progress as a nation without research. Look at the research institutes we have in Nigeria. If you go, I have been able to go to some of them. You see the things they have done, but there's no money for them to bring it into fruition because government is not interested in research, and no nation makes progress without research. Some of them get grants outside this country. I have a privilege of being close to some of them. They get grants outside this country. Do you know that before the grants will even get to them, some people have taken the chunk of that grant. There's nothing they will do. So, and if you look at our curriculum, look at now children are still drawing. They are still drawing fish. See drawing as a rabbit. What has that got to do?
I mean, it's very painful that to see that in 2025, some public schools are still
drawing
part of computer for a student in SS2, drawing the monitor, drawing the keyboard, drawing the mouse, drawing the CPU, and these people cannot even have access to
those things.
Cannot touch it.
They exist only in their imagination.
But they can only draw it.
They can only draw it. So what impact? That's why I give kudos to private schools, and it's not easy to be a private school owner. Because there is no enabling environment. The private school owners are the people that should be honored if there's anybody to give honor in this country. Like our president is planning to do tomorrow. You give honor to people. Which honor are you giving them? Private school owners are supposed to be honored because they are running, they are swimming against the tide. You have to provide power for your school. You have to virtually everything. Then what is the government doing? And still they will go and tax them. And you're not providing anything.
What is the fate of students who may never or will never have access to private schools?
That is the problem. That's what I'm saying here.
That's the issue here now.
That's the issue here now because not everybody is privileged to have access to private schools. So what you have condemned those children to a life of ignorance. Not because they are not capable of learning, but because the government has failed them. That is why I keep saying, Ayo, God help this country. Give us leaders because we don't have leaders. Because every leader, we sit down. Education, how do we want our children to be educated? What kind of education will be made available? Who are those that we motivate? The teachers must be highly motivated. There's nobody on this earth who has no teacher. Nobody. You can't do without teacher. And they must be highly motivated because if you don't motivate them, there is no way they will there's no way they will impact something in the heads of our children. So they must be highly. How do we motivate them? Go and see how most of them live. A teacher. That's why the people that came here during Children's Day, I asked some of them, do you want to be a teacher? None of them said that they will be a teacher. And yet, it's the teacher that brought you here.
That brought them here. I mean, the Guardian says about 72% of educators lack digital training. Even the educators.
They lack it because
digital training.
Because the government is not providing what to use to educate them. You understand? They just leave. Anyway, you don't blame them. Their children are not here. Their children are not here. That's why this man, chief of Bajabi Amila, he went to one school in the southwest here and was telling them that they should attract foreign students to come to Nigeria as a school. They should extend their reach to us. I look at him and say, this man is not. I don't think he's living in Nigeria. Foreign students will come to Nigeria where you don't have power, where you don't have computer, where you still in a cake age. What are they going to do just to make sure that he's talking? You don't do that. A responsible government must take education serious because, Ayo, education affects a lot in the country.
Absolutely.
And I am an advocate for girl child education. You know why? When you educate a woman, you have educated a nation. Go and check Cuba. Literacy level in Cuba is how many percent? Almost 90 something percent. Because everybody, most of the women folk, highly educated because a woman stay closer to the children. Imagine, I have seen a situation where an Okada man, thank God for his this thing, he married somebody highly educated. And you know what? When the children will come back home, I'm not saying that Okada people don't go to school. They do. We have many graduates that are
absolutely
yes. But this man, he didn't go beyond primary school.
Primary school, okay.
When the children come back home from school, do you know it is the wife that does the homework? And when you see the children, when you see them do certain things as in education, you begin to wonder, because of the influence of the mother, who is highly educated. That's the way when you educate when a nation educates women. I'm not saying that boy child should not be educated.
Right.
But we must give attention to education. If we want this, but how do you give attention to education when your leaders don't even understand what education is all about? They can't, because you can't give what you don't have. If they themselves are sincerely educated, they will understand the power of education. I love education, Ayo. If I become the president of this nation, education will be free for all Nigerian child because they will be easy to be. It will be easy to lead them.
To lead, yeah.
You don't need so much grammar to explain things. They will understand you. But
I mean, just like the conversation of flooding and do not throw refuse and water away. Sometimes when you correct some people, they tag you as Obasabi, Alakowe. Why are you disturbing me?
But if they are properly educated, civic education, education in all its ramifications, the country it will be very easy to lead people.
There's a comment here that says when less than 7% is budgeted in 2025 for education out of 55 trillion naira meets endless borrowing, what do you expect in government schools if not rot? Another says if you see why the CBT stuff is a blunder, they introduce a system which is not pursuable. Is this not the reason for the mass failure we are seeing in JAM and the like?
It is the reason.
And now that WAEC is saying they may also now be moving it towards CBT, then what should we start expecting?
Yes, that is the thing. Children coming from private schools, children coming from public schools, what do you expect them? You have already handicapped them. There's nothing they can do because they don't have facilities to this computer, and they must go and write with computer.
True.
It's an injustice to them.
I mean, most universities right now, for you to write your post-UTME, most of them are now CBT computer-based. And so it's only for you to be able to pull through the JAMB one and do well and then qualify to write CBT. And I know that most institutions now, even up to your year 200 level, you start writing your exams with the computer.
With the computer, yes.
And when you now get to advanced, that's when you may have to maybe do paperwork and the likes. This is a big concern, and it should worry all of us.
It's a big concern. It's a big concern.
It should worry.
But does it worry government? I don't think it worries them. I don't think Alausa knows exactly this thing we are talking about as this morning. I don't think.
Because from research, Dr. Alausa is a Nigerian medical doctor.
A medical doctor.
And he's currently the Minister of Education.
You put him in education. Medical doctor.
Nigeria.
Imagine. That's what I'm saying. Medical doctor. That's why he jumped out. When children fail as a woefully in JAMB, we have put in place mechanism to check mass failure. He didn't even know why they failed until Olayode, God bless Prof, until he came out to say no. And I thank God for that man. He owned his mistakes and cried. You understand? So he came out to say no, incomplete question. Technical as glitches, but the Minister of Education has already concluded that, yes, that is it. Medical doctor, what is he doing in education? Just like you have the man in the power sector. All your life you have been in the banking system. What are you doing in the power sector?
All right, this is a big one. You can join our conversation this morning. Go straight to our Facebook page, Wells Radio 893 FM fan page on Facebook. Wells Radio 893 FM fan page on Facebook. Drop your comment, and right after 7 o'clock, we're going to open the studio lines so you can join the conversation to share your thoughts and perspectives and also dive into other stories. Another comment says, and WAEC and NECO will go CBT by 2026. This is inconsistent with the reality in Nigeria.
But
very
Ayo,
inconsistent.
you know, let me even go back into history. You may not understand this history. Do you know it was the military that destroyed education in Nigeria? They destroyed it. They said they want a uniform education in the so-called the educationally disadvantaged state. They brought everything together. The military entered into education, scattered everything. Go and check. That's why we started 66333, 9999. All those jargon we started. Everything went down to the docks. It was the military. Go and check history.
All right, Chukwemeka, let's take a break. When we come back, the phone lines will be open for you to share your thoughts and perspectives. Please stay with us.
Give your child the gift of excellence at Junior's International School, Alafin Avenue, Oluyole Estate, Ibadan. Are you searching for a school where top quality education meets care, love, and safety? A school where skilled professionals ignite young minds in an environment that stimulates learning, creativity, and moral growth? Do you desire a school that offers rich academic curricula designed to prepare your child for local and international examinations, opening doors to future success both within and outside Nigeria? At Junior's International School, we don't just educate, we discover and nurture each child's unique aptitude while molding them into highly productive global citizens driven by godly principles. Join us on the journey of raising tomorrow's leaders. Admission test into pre-nursery to year 5 holds on Friday, 1st August 2025. Venue, Junior's International School, Alafin Avenue, Oluyole Estate, Ibadan. Time 9 a.m. Admission forms are available online at www.juniorsinternationalschool.com or at the school premises. Junior's International School, Center of Excellence.
The Financial Services Regulation Coordinating Committee, FSRCC, in collaboration with the National Broadcasting Commission, NBC, wishes to draw the attention of the public to the activities of illegal financial operators, IFOs, which threaten public trust and the stability of the Nigerian financial system. The general public is hereby advised to refrain from dealing with unlicensed financial operators who deceive individuals with unrealistically high investment returns. Verify the licensing status of such schemes on this website: www.cbn.gov.ng, www.nicom.gov.ng, www.pencom.gov.ng, www.sec.gov.ng, www.fsrcc.gov.ng. To report any suspicions of illicit financial activities, call CBN 0817-665-7060, 0707-338-4828, SEC 0209-462-1168. Announcer, FSRCC.
I am the well of salvation. Why don't you drink from me and leave?
Goodwill message from Wells Radio 89.3 FM.
We rejoice with our sister organization, Well of Salvation Global Ministries, on the occasion of her 30th anniversary, aptly themed Grace for the Next Level.
We are particularly glad to identify with the landmark celebration because it is coming at a time when God has graciously moved Wells Radio from the level of online broadcasting to the next level of terrestrial broadcasting, in which we are making a bigger impact within the broadcast space of Ibadan and indeed Oyo State as the #1 family radio and the preferred station for wholesome content.
We cannot but note with thanksgiving to God that this could not have been our story without the ever greater and more important spiritual support of Well of Salvation Ministries through members' fervent prayers since the time that God dropped the vision for the radio and television broadcasting in the heart of his daughter, a founder and CEO, evangelist Mrs. Lillian Badimosi, many years back.
It is a thing of great joy that we both share from the divine grace bestowed on her and are co-beneficiaries of God's faithfulness, mercy, and love in her life.
As we marvel at what God has done in the life of Well of Salvation Global Ministries in the past level of 30 years, we can only imagine and project into how bigger, mightier, greater, and more glorious the next level would be.
We congratulate the visionary, evangelist Lillian Badimosi, the leaders, and the entire members of Well of Salvation Global Ministries on her 30th anniversary and pray that if the Lord tarries his coming, the next level shall witness divine expansion, enlargement, and increase in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
From all of us at Wells Radio 89.3 FM.
I am the well of salvation.
Wells Radio 89.3 FM, your preferred wholesome radio.
Our Nigerian first. I thank all of you. Eugene Abu, I thank you too. For being a reflection of quality in media space. Thank you very much. Today, I say once again to all of you, Baraka de Salah. And you must obey what the landlord says. You want to use this place? You got to pay for it.
You must obey what the landlord says. That's the way. That's the way now. If you want to use this place, then you must pay for it. I just wish that the same energy, we can transfer to education. I know that politicians in Abuja, we read the dailies today. I just pray that they buy the Guardian newspaper, or someone will just send this story to them. They look at it. The floor of the House will sit critically and, reflect on this, finding and the numbers and statistics, do their own background check, put every unnecessary thing on hold right now, and concentrate on what will make Nigeria what it should be in its real sense. 0916-893-1000, 0916-893-2000, and 0915-334-893. Hello, good morning to you.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, hello, good morning.
Mr. Chukwemeka, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, sir.
How was your night?
Fine, sir.
Your usual caller, Tayo.
All right, Mr. Tayo, good morning.
I want to put a question to you this morning. Sorry. I want to put a question to you this morning. Can you tell me the first research institute in Nigeria? The first research institute in Nigeria. The first one that Nigeria had. Hello?
Yes, we're with you. Go ahead. Hello, Mr. Tayo.
Hello?
Yes, I can hear you. Please go ahead.
First research, I'm not hearing you, but I think you'll be hearing me.
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear.
The first research institute in Nigeria is a national research institute at Mo Plantation. So, when you finish your program this morning, go there. It's a mess. It's a disgrace to Nigeria. The first assignment of Buhari when he came to power in 1984 was to relocate NSRI to Badiji.
Okay.
I will call it a glorified research institute now. You know that yours sincerely, I have issues with them now. The other time when I called your station, I told you that I'm into farming now. Railway Corporation, some of the officials gave me that parcel of land to go into agriculture, and I started working on it. In fact, I've mobilized them, laborers to work on it. Along the line, these people, they said they are officials from NCRI. They stopped. I went back to railway officials that what is really happening. The man told me that there is an issue between them and railway, and that issue has been settled by the head of both, because now NCRI belongs to Federal Ministry of Agriculture. Then railway belongs to Nigerian Federal Ministry of Transport and Aviation. Now I went back to them. Look, what is happening? Because this thing goes with money. Nothing goes for nothing in Nigeria, as you all know. As I speak to you, yesterday morning I was in the farm. I've already told the laborers, the workers who are going to work on it, they are going to cut everything, cut They said they were the one that planted cassava there. I'm not bothered about that. They came to harvest the cassava about a month ago. What I'm saying in effect is that Nigeria, I'm not going to draw conclusion on that one because it's a matter between them. And I called the official yesterday afternoon that look, not until you settle the issue with the National Civil Service, I won't go there again. I can't risk my life. I'm a widower. So what I'm saying is this. Nigeria is totally, just as Mr. Chukwuebuka used to say, I went to primary schools in the 60s, secondary school in the 70s. I belong to the second set of May, June, because I passed out in 1974. Now, the Minister of Education is a medical doctor, as rightly pointed out. What does he know about education? The last Minister of Education for Buhari said he doesn't know anything about education. So what are we talking about? This government, APC government, we only need to pray for them. I'm sorry to say it's a clueless government and party.
It is
Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Tayo. Thank you. Thank you so much for your time today. 0916-893-1000, 0916-893-2000, or 0915-334-893. I would really love to hear from parents whose children, attend public schools. And, is this a concern for you? Have you even been there to check that this computer thing they are talking about, yes, this is where we stand right now, but is my child enjoying this thing, especially when you have the future at heart? My child will finish from this government school and go to university and all of that. While in the university, I have, classmates who finish from some of these government schools that you think there is nothing there, and then you need to see their performance. You'll be blown away.
Yes.
And so when we now see stories like this, I'm just concerned as to, is this still going to be the same? Hello, good morning to you.
Yeah, good morning, World Radio.
Good morning to you. Good morning, sir. Your name and where you're calling us from?
Yeah, my name is Salami. I'm calling from Awoto.
All right, Mr. Salami from Awoto. Good
morning.
All right,
good morning, Mr. Chukwuemeka.
Good morning, Mr. Salami.
This morning, the issue you have brought up is very, very concerning. For me, I don't even know who advised who advised them to want to tinker with the lives of so many Nigerians, especially concerning the school set. The the JAM, they started the CBC a couple of years back. It's still dragging. What success have they recorded from the CBC for JAM? Now they are able to clean with that of the school set. I don't even, honestly speaking, it's in split priority. It's a tall order. Is an over ambition. Honestly speaking, because let me tell you, some of us attended public schools, and I can assure you, not much has changed from when we were there to now in terms of exposure to system, to laptop, to computer. I tell you, there are some of these students that once you place them before a computer, everything their brain vanishes. Even their teacher, what's their level of IC? And you're not and somebody's not even talking of going digital, going this, going that from 2026. I don't know I don't know. Have they put in place now to ensure that all these are well done? Okay, my quick advice this morning is just that I know there used to be a time when we have National Parent Teachers Association, National Parent Teachers Association, what's it called? Yeah. I would just like to advise, if we still do, that they should put themselves together and make a representation to National Assembly.
Thank you so much.
But please give Nigerians a little time more concerning the WAEC of a thing. As in going digital for WAEC. And again, this is when we talk of when we make appointments, our leaders should know that put the right person in the right hole is the right thing to do. Why is the government, why is it that the president always puts a lawyer as Nigerian family, as Attorney General of the Federation? Why is it that the president always puts a medical doctor as Minister of Health? Why is it not replicating the same thing across various ministries? Does it mean we don't have any competent teacher that can be made a minister of education? Right?
Great point.
And what in this country where we have a president who appointed Professor Tunde, we know how it is so well. Now you are appointing a medical doctor to head the Ministry of Education. What does he know about it?
All right.
Another brother, please.
Thank you so
should
much.
kind of serve the people right. Most of our business are doing great service to this nation.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Salami. Thank you so much for your call.
That's the truth. And I only pray God will just direct their mind towards doing the good thing for us.
Amen.
Good morning. Thank you.
Good morning. Good morning, Mr. Salami. Thank you for your thought. That's another great point there.
Yes.
If the Attorney General is a lawyer, the Minister of Health
is a doctor.
medical
Why
doctor,
putting doctor?
and why across all the departments?
It's for political patronage. You have done well. Come and chop the just come and stay here. You see, this thing we are talking? It's already is affecting a lot. But you don't. Okay. A leader cannot give what he doesn't have. If a leader is educated, highly educated, sincerely educated, understands what education is, he will replicate the same.
Hello, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning. That's Sheriff from Onara. Good morning, Sheriff.
Good morning.
I agree what the analyst said and the last caller. In Nigeria, there are some sensitive critical positions that if you want to appoint someone, you must appoint the right spec and the right role. I can recall it during the era of Jonathan. I think Minister of Finance that time, Sukunju Wiala, Femi Adesina also, Minister of Agriculture. So, but nowadays, under Mr. President, even not on the beginning of ex-President Buhari, most of the political appointees, they use it as a patronage for their party members. Because, for example, now, see the Minister of Power. And they use someone that his background is about the banking and finance. Former Deputy Governor of CBN, they are appointed as Minister of Finance, Minister of Power, which is from Oyo State. It's very wrong, and we can't expect any result from that. So that means we want to appoint someone in the critical sector, like in the education sector, power sector, even in economics or finance. We must appoint someone that they know the nitty-gritty about that field very well. Not someone that they want to give me a political appointee. Maybe they want to appoint some Lagos boy. And we can't get any result from that. So that is why we are urge Mr. President to do anything in that regard. But very unfortunate that Mr. President is like he's trying to prioritize the political interests of 2027 rather than the welfare of Nigeria. That's my own submission.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Sherry from Onara. Thank you so much for your time. Let's get to other stories and politics quickly. Power play, PDP convention caught in Wike, Makinde camps crossfire. The battle of soul of the People's Democratic Party has reportedly pitted the Oyo State Governor, Engineer Seyi Makinde, against the Federal Capital Territory Minister, Mr. Eyesom Wike. Let's take this call. Hello, good morning to you.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Hello.
Hello, good morning. We can hear you.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning to you. Thank you for calling. Your
Please,
name?
Aderonke from Muslim.
Good morning,
Concerning
Aderonke.
maybe why I can go digital or not. We are not yet right for it. Just take a look at it. Look at the glitches that the jam this year. The glitches they face that the students has to write the exam. So our educational system needs to be standard before we can embark on doing on digital. That's my mistake.
Thank you so much, Aderonke. Thank you so much for calling. Now, the two political gladiators used to be good friends. That's the governor of Oyo State and Eyesom Wike, and played a key role in the victory of President Bola Tinubu in the last election, following their resolve to work against the PDP candidate Atiku Abubakar. The duo, alongside Okeze Ikpeazu, Ifeanyi Ugwuanyi, and Samuel Ortom, then governors of Abia, Enugu, and Benue State, respectively, formed the G5 bloc and insisted on the southern presidential ticket. But Atiku, who comes from the north, claimed the PDP ticket at the National Convention. Things have since fallen apart, with the Oyo State Governor, backed by his Bauchi counterpart, Bala Mohammed, and the Enugu State Governor, Peter Ombah, no longer enjoy a cordial political relationship with Wike. And as part, Wike is enjoying the support of Governors Caleb Mutuang of Plateau and Hamadu Fintiri of Adamawa. The rift between Makinde and Wike reached its peak When at a meeting in Ibadan, the Oyo State capital, the PDP governors rejected the planned reinstatement of Senator Samuel Anyanwu by the Bukola Saraki-led Reconciliation Committee, a move seen by Wike as a betrayal by the Oyo State governor. Makinde is working in sync with the party's national leadership, which has fixed June 30 for the PDP's 99th National Executive Committee meeting and August 2025 for its convention. And on Monday, Wike reeled members of the defunct G5 Bar Makinde to lay down his terms for peace to reign. Let me get your view again on this Makinde
there is no
Wike thing and Makinde Wike's view of betrayal about the planned reinstatement of Senator Samuel Anyanwu by the Bukola Saraki-led reconciliation.
Wike is not the person to be talking about betrayal. When it comes to issue of betrayal, is not the right candidate or the right person to be talking about betrayal because he understands what betrayal is. But let me look at if you look at what's happening in PDP, you see there's no party in Nigeria today that is healthy. They are all crisis ridden, and this is not just ordinary crisis. You understand? Because if you want to disorganize your enemy, the best way to fight a war is to put confusion into the camp of those who will likely organize against you. So what is happening in PDP is not, it didn't start today, but other people have joined the fight from outside and using those they are using in order to create an atmosphere of confrontation or disunity as within the party. That's why Nigerians are not looking, if you check some of the calls since Monday, people are not looking at PDP as an opposition. Nigerians still believe that a coalition will emerge. You understand? Not PDP. Because we know that PDP, we know what is happening inside the PDP. We know that the strange bedfellows are now fighting themselves. But we know that if you look at Labour Party as well, you see what is happening in Labour Party, Abure and Nenadi Usman and all of them having camps here and there. It is the hand of Jacob and the voice of is the voice of Jacob, but the hand of Esau.
I mean, and that's where I'm heading to. Do you think any coalition should even excite us as a nation right now?
We are not interested in Nigerians are interested in good governance, but I know that there must be an opposition. How it will come is what I don't know. Only that we don't have independent candidacy. I didn't believe that our constitution guarantees independent candidacy. Nigerians are just looking. They are just watching. They want to see what is going to, because every other party has been polluted. Crisis here and there. And it's not ordinary. It's not. When you see there's a particular bird in my area, is always dancing in the middle of the road. When it's dancing what is beating drum for it is inside the bush. You understand? Those crises are not ordinary crises. They are highly instigated. Those crises are not, it's not, that's why if you look at, they will bring us somebody that has a very strong personality and we use him. At the end of the day, if you are going hunting and somebody you want to go hunting with is already saying that your leg is looking like that of an animal, what does that mean?
Are you still surprised at Wike's strong interest in the activities?
He should have been expelled a long time ago if there's a political party. I keep saying it, we don't have political parties. They're all businessmen. They all gather together to form a club to take power. Political parties should have there must be an internal mechanism to check anti-party activities in a normal political party. And you must not be above the party. Every political party, no individual will be above the party. But in Nigeria, individuals are above their political party. That's why you see endorsements and nobody will challenge. In a normal country, nobody is above the political party. In fact, you are under the political party. The political party will tell you what to do, and you will do it because you swore an allegiance to that political party because you saw the manifesto and what they believe in. So if you don't adhere to the principles that is guiding that party, you are expelled. But because we don't have political parties, that's why the lack of Wike is still in PDP, because it's not a political party. It's a convergence of people to snatch power. That is it. Go to South Africa, go to other African countries. Our own Mahmoud Yakub, he went to Ghana. I don't know what he went to do there. He came back here and was saying that he was shocked that to find that people stayed in a political party for 30 years, 25 years, a member of a political party. Because the person believes so much in the manifesto of that. Do we have manifestos? We don't have. So our political party is structured in such a way that anybody with money can come and buy the political party and call it structure. That's why you keep hearing it doesn't have a structure. What is structure? What is the structure? The people are supposed to be the structure, but the people have been abrogated. So they don't have a say in the political party. So an individual with strange money will come, put money down. Everybody dances around him. He dictates what goes on in the party. You cannot expel him. That's not a political party. A political party, no matter what you are or who you are answerable to the hierarchy of that political party, and you can be expelled because everybody is a stakeholder. You are not the only stakeholder in the political party. But because we don't have a political party in Nigeria, that's why people can be jumping here and there today, jump here and jump there, and nothing is. When you don't stand for anything, you fall for anything.
Let's take this call. Hello, good morning to you.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning. Your name and where you're calling us from?
Hello.
Hello, good morning. Oh, we lost that call. Please do call us back.
So this is the problem. So if we have political parties, we should not be in PDP by now. We don't have political parties. They are all because nothing is even. It can come up tomorrow and say, okay, I'm supporting Susan and so person. That is not even a member of your party, and nothing will happen. That's why they call anti-party activities.
Let's take Chief Olabode's just thought here or his statement. He said, as an elder, I am a custodian of the rules and regulation governing our party. I want to advise this young man, Wiki, to know that only authority can make a comment on the issue of convention, and that is the NEC. I want to advise him and the G5 that if they have any issues that will not support that of the party, or even if they are against the directive of the party, it is morally expedient to talk about it within the family. These guys, Wiki-led group, should calm down. They will not dare the NEC. Let the decision come from the body. I spent 10 years in the National Working Committee, but I have never seen anything like this before. We will not discuss anything outside that. Whatever the majority says, that is it. And for a lot of people, the concern of what interest lies in the PDP for Wiki, even when, of course, in the last election, everybody knows where you put your tent. You currently work as the FCT minister. You have a very close relationship with the president right now. Why don't you just move to the APC?
Listen,
why is the PDP still finding it hard to expel a Wiki
because it's
who they already know?
He has contributed a lot.
His values do not align with that of their party.
He has contributed a lot of money to the party. When they were having issues, he practically bankrolled everything with the party. That's where he's standing. You understand? And let me even tell you, imagine the founding fathers of PDP should wake up from the grave, the likes of Ekweme, and see the kind of rascals in PDP right now. How do you think they will feel? Because they built a very strong opposition, PDP. Look at the kind of children that are inside our house right now. Look at what they are doing. You understand? It's not that he bankrolled some of the things in PDP when PDP was having issue. Atiku cannot be excluded from blame because he's over ambitious. You understand? When it was time, when they zoned the party ticket to the north, they supported you. Now, when they said, okay, let it be the turn of the south, he said, no, you came out because you have money. That's why I said it's not a party. If this is a party, with all your money, you will still obey the party. Because it's not a party. Everybody is a club. Let's come together. And that's why they can fight anytime because they are not standing for anything together. As a unit, they all have their personal interest. I can run with this one, I can run with this one, and I will still come back here. No. A real political party, you must belong to something. You swear allegiance to that party. Like I said before that call came in, what is going on other African countries? You see members of the party, 25 years, 30 years, they are still part of that party. They can't go anywhere. That is where there's discipline within the party. If you want to go, you can go. Not that you will be here to do you know how many people that have jumped from one party to the other? In Nigeria, they are never in one political party. When their bread is no longer buttered here, they will jump and they will tell you that after a while the consultation with my people, which people did they consult?
Let's go. Nearly 2 weeks after devastating flood in Mokwa local government area of Niger State, residents are complaining about the stench of decaying corpses believed to be those of the flood victims still buried under sand and debris.
And I wish that there will be no outbreak of cholera.
Yes, or any other
viral
disease in that area. Let's take this call in 1 minute. Hello, good morning to you. Hello? Yes, good morning. Let's talk to you in 1 minute.
This is Aderonke.
All right, Aderonke, thank you for calling
Concerning
back.
the crisis in PDP, even though if it is wicked that when the party was in crisis, it was the one that made the party to go back to its normal thing. But that does not mean you should now be causing trouble up and down. Just take a look at it, how he was accusing Governor Sheyi Makinde that he is a betrayer, and whereas he the one is a betrayer, because we don't even know which party.
All right, thank you so much, Aderonke. Thank you for your call. And that's all we can take this morning. Thank you, Chukwemeka.
Thank you, Ayo, for having me. God save Nigeria.
Thank you so much, and God bless Nigeria. Perspectives Unlimited returns tomorrow. Up next is AM Sport with Sam Adelere. God bless you.
Please listen to this important information. The views expressed by the interviewee